So I did graduate from an Ivy League college. That is true. Everybody sees that. It's on my resume. It's on my bio on my website. But what you don't know is the story that got me there, because it was pretty crazy. I was definitely a late bloomer. In high school, I confess, I did not go to very many classes. I lived 2 hours from Lake Tahoe, and I frequently ditched class to go skiing. That is definitely my passion. I was not a good student. When it came time to apply to college, I really didn't, and I ended up just going to a community college in order to just get out of the house. And when I got there, I was flunking out, and I was not in a good place. I was definitely on the wrong track. And I was so blessed to have a childhood friend who had gone to school back east. She went to Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut, and she saw me at one of our holiday breaks, and she said, "Barb, you don't look so good. I don't know what's going on with you, but I need to help you." And I couldn't believe that this woman said that. I mean, I had literally grown up playing tennis with her. And she ended up, and I did all of this without my parents really even knowing, she looked at the Wesleyan University bylaws, and she found that if you live in Middletown, Connecticut, you can go to Wesleyan for a year. And so she had to establish residency for me, and how she had this money, I do not know. She rented an apartment in my name and called me one day and said, "Hey, did you know that you're a resident of Middletown, Connecticut, and all you need to do is get there?" So one cold morning, the day after Christmas, I announced to my parents that I was leaving California, and I got in my little Volkswagen and I drove across the country all by myself. And I arrived in the dead of winter, which a winter I'd never seen before. Boy, is it cold in Connecticut in January. And I arrived in Middletown, Connecticut, and I showed up at the admissions office of Wesleyan, and I said, "Hi, my name's Barb Maynard, and I live in Middletown, Connecticut, and I understand I can go here for a year." Well, the person I talked to didn't really understand that. She didn't know anything about that in the bylaws. So I pulled it out and I showed them where exactly it stated that I could go there for a year. And they had to take me. They had to take me for a year. So I go to my first class. I think it was a history class or something. And I had to write it. First off, the professor was talking, and I was so out of my element, I didn't even understand what she was saying. And so I thought, oh boy, I'm lost, but I'm going to keep going at this. I was definitely I wasn't ready for this level of academics. So I went to write my first paper, and I don't even know what I put down, but I'm sure it wasn't anything very good, because she returned it to me with no grade. And she said, "This is so bad that I'm not even going to grade it." And I thought, oh heavens, what's going to happen? Do I go home with my tail between my legs and tell my parents I failed? I can't do that. This is not going to happen. And so I started hiring tutors, and I started learning as fast as I possibly could. And by the end of those 2 semesters, I was only allowed to stay for 2 semesters, I had A's. And I busted my butt to get there. And unfortunately, because I really wished I'd ended up staying at Wesleyan, I loved it there, they did not let me stay because my grades were so bad from my first year and a half in California. But I did ultimately go to New York, and very long story short, I ended up at Columbia and ultimately graduated. So it was one heck of a journey. I never stopped fighting, and I've tried to tell my now 17-year-old daughter that she's got to do the same thing. She's got some learning differences and has really struggled with school, and she also has turned it all around. So I've tried my best to instill these values in her so that she can have the same level of success and excitement and magic that I have in my life.